What's up, guys?
Hello, Vengas.
How is everybody doing?
Are you doing okay? Have you been watching Twitter.com and losing your goddamn mind for the last week?
This is better than a race week, honestly.
Yeah, who needs race
Who
weekends?
needs races?
Who needs a race
Yeah,
weekends
got
when you have
this.
Fernando Alonso throwing an absolute fucking homemade bomb with shrapnel and just disgusting. There's shit in it and there's crazy stuff. And everyone's just all of F1 is just covered in like nails and shit and like stats, his career stats, like burnt up.
It went from being his move to and forget about Vettel. We that's way in the rear view. But his move to Aston Martin went from being my least favorite thing of all time to my favorite thing of all time because, before we get into the goss.
Yes. But what's also great is that like normally on a race week, we do a race recap. It's like whatever. Sometimes the race is fucking boring, but we have an epic episode for you guys today.
Oh yeah.
We have fucking Thandie and Nyasha from the fucking Quick Stop podcast, the fucking legends of the UK on the pod today. And we're also going to have Jenny Sue in here too. But how's it going from the Quick Stop pod?
Hiya. Wow.
Hi.
That's so good. That was like, I listen to your podcast every week, and to be like present for that intro, my soul just descended. I was like, I can't believe
Descended or ascended?
Oh, ascended. I descended into hell. That's where it took me. No, well, thanks for having us, guys. This is super cool. I know our listeners are loving this as well. So yeah, thanks for having us on. Yeah,
hi guys.
They're so good.
I mean, like when we were talking before, I was like, I actually really like you guys. Like I'm a bit fangirling out right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually a little bit shy. I'm like, oh my god, hope they like me.
well, later when we're saying things that you don't like, then maybe that will go away. But I think
hold on. Did you cut her off when she was in the middle of complimenting? They were in the middle of complimenting us. Do you guys have anything more you want to say? I'm kidding.
Well, I think something that we're so excited about with having you guys on is that, you know, like in this world of Formula One, there's a lot of people are afraid to say some things with their chest. And there's a lot of people who are afraid to take a stance on anything. And I think it's because a lot of people think that one day they're going to be like friends with the drivers. Everyone kind of feels like, well, one day I'm going to be like hanging out with Daniel Ricciardo. So like, why would I say anything mean about Daniel Ricciardo? And it's like, guess what, babe? You're never going to hang out with Daniel Ricciardo. So just say something.
Well, why do you think they're not going to?
You're breaking Thandie's heart.
No,
mate, no.
Thandie,
I'm just saying because.
Well, Thandie, if you want to,
you're different. You're different from these plebes, okay? You live a different lifestyle. That's what's amazing about you.
I don't know. I feel like Daniel Ricciardo's not even like, he has to go with the brand of being really like a bloke. So I feel like if you go into any given pub in Australia or the UK, you'll see Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. I just think it's a lot of. I think you live a life where you could be like, from what I see from afar, that you have an air to you that you're like, I could walk into any room and convert anyone into like being a stan of me.
It's easy.
It's easy. You have to say
it's easy. That's what she's
easy. It's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, sure. After you.
I was gonna say, I thought you guys meant it was easy for me to turn anyone to like a Lewis Hamilton fan or a Formula One fan.
Oh no, a fan of you.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Not a lot.
Yeah, she does. Why don't you know, put yourself down a little bit there. She does just make everyone a fan of her, and I'm not jealous of that at all. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, we can cut this, but we had a pre-pod meeting and Thandie couldn't be there because she was being flown around.
Yeah.
And Nyasha, totally not bitter, just like, yeah, no, she can't make it. She's being, you know, jettisoned off here and there and everywhere, and I'm here doing the clerical work.
You know, you've got to live life to the fullest. Do you know what I mean? We've just had a pandemic. Like life's a bit too short, you guys. Do you know what I mean? There's a pandemic looming, by the way. Is anyone touching people? Is anyone holding hands? Stop holding hands. because
That's
there's
right.
monkeypox about. Do you know what I mean? Let's not spread that.
And there you go. And there's not only is F1 and F1 content, but also scientific advice as well.
That's right. Well, we have this would be a good time. We have our resident scientist who is on the podcast as well today. We've got Jenny Sue Birnbaum, the producer of the Red Flags Pod. So Jenny, can you tell us what we're going to do today?
Yes, Guten Tag, Vankers. So thank you. That actually, this is the most nervous I've been on the podcast as you introduced me as a woman in science, because I am famously a woman outside of STEM. So shout out to all the women in STEM, but I safely keep my distance there. You know what, everyone? For those at home, you can't see my incredible outfit, but I'm really dressed for the occasion. I think it's time. I think it's time. Are we ready? Is everyone ready to head in?
Super ready.
Let's rock and roll.
Here we go. Okay. Hello, Vankers, and welcome to the inaugural Red Flags debate. Sponsorship and naming opportunities are still available. I'm Jenny Sue Birnbaum, and I will be your moderator for today. My qualifications being, I have an Ivy League degree, I'm wearing glasses, and my voice sounds like this. Let me remind the listeners, I am here as an impartial body to provide these two sides in our debate with prompts, as well as act as the official timekeeper. Here's how our debate structure will work. Since our friends from Quick Stop are our guests, they will go first each round and will get to choose whether they'd like to argue for or against the statement. They will then have 3 minutes to present their points. The red flags will be forced to take the opposing argument and will also have 3 minutes. I will indicate to both sides when they have 1 minute remaining. After both sides have responded, we will return to Quick Stop for a 45-second rebuttal, followed by a 45-second rebuttal from the red flags. You may
What
ask me
does
to
a rebuttal mean? Sorry, I'm
response.
So sorry.
What you
Reply.
just did.
Okay.
You come back. And
There you go.
I disagree.
Okay.
Okay. You may ask me to repeat the statement and which side you are arguing for before you answer. I want clean racing, no assistance from outside engineers, and unlike the FIA, I will not be giving a team an unfair advantage. All right. Like sitting on an exit row on an airplane, I'm going to need verbal confirmation from each of you. Teams, are we ready to proceed?
I have
Do
a
it.
question.
Yes.
Okay, are me and Nyasha allowed to text each other?
Yeah,
Sure. It's your time.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow it.
It's your time.
Cool.
Okay.
Nyasha, pick up WhatsApp, my dear.
Now. Okay, well, I've got it. Okay. Well, let's
And
carry on.
Should we
Yeah,
do
let's-
silly season after this?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
silly
yeah,
season
yeah.
at the end. Let's do the
Okay,
silly season
all
at
right,
the end.
okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's rock.
All right. Okay, so teams, are we ready to proceed?
Super
Let's
ready.
do it.
Yeah,
Can't
let's
wait.
go.
All right, Vankers, let's debate. Our first statement is from the social media site Twitter. User @TooTallForF1 says, Esteban Ocon is one of the most promising drivers on the grid. And if given the right machinery, he could win a championship. Quick stop. Would you like to argue for, in agreement with this statement, or against it?
I don't even think we have to discuss this one.
We're going to
Because-
argue against that statement, please.
Okay. Okay. Well, quick stop. Your time starts now.
Okay, I'll start and I'll let you go into it, Thandie. But Esteban Ocon, let's get the good things out of the way. Very lovely guy, very handsome person as well. And that's where it about stops for me. I'm not going to lie. He has been dusted by every teammate he's ever had. Perez dusted him, Alonso dusted him, Ricardo's dusted him. This guy is sawdust. And for me, as much as I think he's a lovely guy, and also very handsome. I unfortunately don't think he has got what it takes to reach a world champion level. And I don't know if my fellow host Thandie, I don't know if you really have anything else to add to that or.
Okay, so Esteban Ocon to me. Have you ever been to Nando's? Has anyone ever been to Nando's? Right. So Esteban Ocon is like a Nando's side. It's extra £3 if you want to. Do you know what I mean? So it goes from being about £10 to 13, and you're thinking, do I want to spend that extra £3? The answer is no. I do not want to spend the extra £3 on Esteban Ocon. Yes, it's all looks. You look great in the blue. I mean, you look great. Full stop.
Yeah, beautiful gowns.
Do we want to spend money on Esteban Ocon? My goodness, no, we do not. We do not. We're in the middle of a recession and we should be smart about it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
There's a cost of living crisis across the world. And you've got
Esteban Ocon is working with Uber Eats and Deliveroo. He is not, or DoorDash in your guys. Yeah. We don't want to work with him because the financial advisor is saying, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, putting up the receipts. Like, are you ordering more sides from Nando's? I can't believe it.
You spent that much money. That is what Esteban Ocon is.
Time.
All right, you cede your time. Red flags, you will be arguing for.
I'm gonna let Matt start this off.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
I'll help you out.
Well, that is ludicrous. How dare you defame? Did you guys know that he came from nothing? Absolutely nothing. That he's one of the few drivers who didn't pay his way into the sport. Okay. Not only has he come from nothing and constantly reminds us of that fact, but he was in a trailer park. Like he had to drive the trailer himself. He had to work on used equipment. He had to claw his way up. Okay. By his bootstraps. And he beat one teammate when he was in like Manor or something. So that was the team. You said that he got dusted by every teammate when he was at his first thing in 2016. Okay. Or 2017 or whenever he started, he beat that teammate. I forgot his name, but I'm sure he was a great driver. All right. And let me tell you something else.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me tell you something else. And I'm definitely not reaching here. He's a no, I got nothing else. I got nothing else to say.
Okay, I'll say something. Yeah. He had to crawl his way into Formula One. And sure, since he's been in Formula One, he seems to have just taken a back seat to every other driver that he's gone against. But that's because he hasn't had the opportunity, okay? And he knows, I don't know if you know this, but Toto Wolff is his manager, and he understands that Mercedes is looming in his future, and he's waiting. Who wins, the tortoise or the hare? And he's tortoising. And right now, he's pretending like he can't beat his teammate. Pretending like he needs to shove his teammate into the wall in order to win or to beat them in the championship. But when he gets that opportunity and he sees that finish line go, he's going to turn from that tortoise into that hare. And you know what? I don't think he's cute or good looking, but I think that he's a great driver.
Yes.
And he's the best in the grid. And he's so tall that he has to stay so skinny.
He's probably anemic. Probably has iron deficiency.
He's anemic. That's why he's been racing poorly. And once he gets his nutrition figured out and he gets on Mercedes, he's going to take it to the promised land.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're going to put him in the second seat, and they're going to think he sucks because that's how he's been wanting you to think that he is.
Right.
And then he's gonna take it over from George Russell. You'll see.
All right. Cede your time. All right. Quick stop. Do you have a 45-second rebuttal?
Yes,
okay.
I do. I do
Starting
quickly on that. Yes, he has clawed his way, and that is good. But that he's like. That's like a pound shop version of Lewis Hamilton's story, right? Like, he did it, and that's good, but it's not inspiring me more than it does anyone else. I'm not inspired, confident in it. And to be honest, the fact that he's fallen out with like Gasly and he fell out with all the other French drivers, I think if feels like he's a little bit bad vibes, and those vibes aren't going to take you to a championship.
Exactly.
So
he's like that guy who probably just leaves the group chat when he says like, "Oh guys, I went to the shop," and no one wants to reply. No one wants to reply. Esteban is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
he
He just feels like bad vibes.
bad vibes. Bad vibes are not
Time.
enough. Oh,
Time.
Wait, he
All
fell
right.
out. He fell
Vibes?
out with the other French drivers. I didn't know this.
him and there's an
I don't know.
article. Him and Pierre fell out.
How do you? What? Wait, stop.
Whoa.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop the time. Wait. How do you know this?
There's an article. Pierre did.
It's known that they have like beef.
Yeah, Pierre did
I love that.
an article, and there was like they grew up together and they were coming through together, and then they fell out basically, like because I guess they were in competition with each other, and now they hardly talk anymore. So
Wow.
All right, and then
Wow.
to that point, I'm gonna say Pierre Esteban. Do you know what I mean? Who
Ooh.
seems like better vibes?
Mm.
Who would
I'm
you
gonna
rather
have to
hang
know-
out with?
But we're okay.
I'm gonna
okay,
have
now-
whoa. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to know
This
that
is
was outside
this
the
is out
time.
of credit. This
That
is
was
this is
outside
Okay,
the
no,
time.
no,
This is-
start our
this
time.
is-
Start our time. Start our
Okay,
time.
start
Danny,
our time,
start
start our time.
Our time. Our time.
all I'm saying is
we're
this
not-
is
hey,
like
Danny. It's on our time now. Our time. We're not about vibes, Nyasha. We're about racing. And you want to know something? Pierre is the jealous type. And I am confident that Pierre is just jealous of Ocon while he's out there getting ripped, overcompensating for his lack of racecraft. What's Esteban? Skinny, because he doesn't have
Yeah.
to compensate for shit. Okay. He doesn't need muscles to make himself feel like a fucking man. All right.
And I think that Pierre's good vibes are getting in the way of his good pace. And
Too
you know,
busy.
sometimes sometimes the vibes don't have to be great in order for the pace.
That's
to be-
time.
Alonso doesn't have good
That's time.
vibes.
Excuse me. Time. You know, I really
but he
thought
has better
I
pace than Ocon.
I really thought I had this under control. And
Ocon's
after
winning
one,
in the points.
Jesus.
He's winning in the points.
after one
Right.
prompt, it's gone to hell. All right.
All right.
And because I'm in charge now, I've decided to change it from 3 to 2 minutes just because I can. So, our next prompt, also from twitter.com, from user at Lauren C. Ofortiz. Sure. Okay. They say, Lando isn't as good of a driver as everyone makes him out to be. Quick stop. Would you like to argue for, in agreement with this statement, or against it?
Thandie, it's up to you, mate, because
No, Nyasha, you know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say.
okay, we're going to argue
Look at the text I just
against
sent
that.
you.
I've seen it. Yeah, we're going to argue against that.
You're going to argue against that he
Bro-
isn't as good of a driver as everyone makes him out to be. Okay.
Yeah, apparently so. And I'm going to
Okay.
leave that to Thandie.
Okay. And your time starts now.
Lando Norris, a British treasure, a young man in the forefront of the best merch in F1 after Sir Lewis Hamilton. Listen, the man has Twitch in a headlock. He has the podcast girls in a chokehold. So what else do you need? In this game of Formula One, where we don't actually value a driver's driving skills and more their status and their clothing and their amount of followers, Lando Norris comes top. Lando Norris, a British treasure. I say when you come visit the UK, come visit London and then go visit Lando Norris HQ on Twitch and just go see one of our British monuments. So I say Lando Norris, he's ahead of everybody else in terms of vibes, obviously. And I say
1 minute.
Okay, and I say, okay, and I also say that when it comes Daniel Ricciardo, it comes Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris through the roof. There you go. Nyasha, do you have any comments?
I do. I'm just going to mention his driving quickly. He is a great talent on the grid. Last year showed that he was pretty much probably third best driver behind Lewis and Max. He's got podiums at a young age. He's dusting Ricciardo. He was equal with Sainz, who's gone to Ferrari, and he's only going to get better as he's still so young. So on top of everything which is valid, what Thandie just,
Vibes.
the driving part, answering the question, is also good as well. Then I'm not
And
Okay.
those curls. Oh my God, he's got cute curls.
Bye,
Okay.
Rachel boy.
Red flags.
He's biracial.
You, you are arguing in agreement. All right. And
Brian, I'll let you take. I'll let you
your
take.
time-
I got this, I got
Lando,
this, I got
Lando
this.
is trash.
your
Lando is
time
trash.
starts now.
Okay, listen, this is the thing about Lando Norris. Listen, sure, so far he's had good pace. So far he's beaten the brakes off Daniel Ricciardo. So far the vibes are good, but we've seen it on track. When it comes to the gritty, is he ready to fight? He is not ready to fight, and he is not ready to put in those battles. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He is destined for a career of great qualifying times and shitty racing, because he, at the end of the day, he's Gen Z. He's conflict averse. He doesn't want to. He's afraid. He's deathly afraid of conflict. He's a mental health king. And sometimes, if you're too much of a mental health king, then Formula One ain't the place for you. You need to be a little bit demented. You need to be a little bit wrong in order to be right on the track. And I don't think that Lando, despite all of this other things that he has going on, honestly, he's got too much going on. He's not putting enough
1
time
minute.
and focus into being the killer on the track. I don't think he's got the killer instinct. He's not destined for it.
He had one opportunity to win a race. And he goes, so what's best for the team? Okay. No. Alonso wouldn't have asked what was best for the team. He would have put slow ass Ricardo on the wall and he would have taken that fucking victory. Okay. And he can't deal with reality. When the rain is going, he's like, la 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 la. In Sochi, he's like, la 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 la. I got it. As he's fucking careening into the wall. He hasn't won as many. He didn't win as many junior formulae as Russell or Leclerc. He's just not at the level that everybody wants you to believe. He's not at the Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen.
And it's British
I'm hot
bias.
shit.
And it's
It's
British
British-
bias.
it's
that is
British bias.
putting him on that pedestal and putting him on that podium before he's even gotten there.
Yes.
End time. Okay, quick stop. Would you like a 45-second rebuttal?
Yes, I would like a first
All right,
45
your
second
time
rebuttal.
starts now.
Okay, ask yourself this, ladies and gentlemen. Is Lando Norris the number one driver in his team? I rest my case. Yeah? Lando Norris is a man of the people. Just look at his trip to Mexico.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about the
You
trip
have
to
time,
Mexico?
Matt. You have time.
Thandie, we're supposed to.
Are we supposed to be? Oh, I thought it was supposed to be like sarcastic. That was sarcastic.
Oh right.
Yeah, no.
That was
We know.
extremely sarcastic.
We know.
Anything you'd like to add on Lando Norris, Nyasha?
Yeah, that he is Dustin Ricciardo. He is the Sochi thing was his team's fault. And again, if he tried to overtake Ricciardo,
And time.
Monza, it would have been bad for the team.
All right.
He lost to Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is getting fucking bent over by Charles Leclerc right now. What else do you need to know? What else do you need to know? Okay. Carlos Sainz beat him. Charles Leclerc is beating Carlos Sainz.
And this whole dynamic with Carlos Sainz speaks to the thing about like he wants to be buddy with Carlos Sainz, but when the reality is Carlos Sainz is a snake in the grass that's ready to viper kill you at any second, and he'll shake your hand while stabbing you with the other hand, and that's what he did to Lando Norris. And Lando Norris he's too sweet. He's like a freshly hatched rich little chicken.
Well, that's time. Okay.
Oh,
Next prompt.
oh.
How's
You're
everyone
making us.
feeling?
You're making us really go again. Matt has to say nice things about Ocon. I have to say mean things about Lando. You guys are going for our hearts. All right, let's rock.
That would have been the commercial break on air. So,
Yeah.
at Aegon1009 says, Christian Horner is the best team principal in the paddock. Quick stop. Would you like to argue for, in agreement with this statement, or against it?
Nyasha, please think carefully right now. Think. Look me in the eye.
I'm gonna argue against for.
Don't you
What
give
do
each
wanna
other
do?
what?
Just doing it. Thandie, just make a choice. You make a choice. We'll go
No,
from
you make the choice. I don't want to.
I'm gonna argue against. I can't argue against.
I'll
it.
back you wherever, broski. You know I've got you.
Let's go. I'm
No
gonna
one
argue.
can pull
arguing.
up.
I'm gonna
I
argue
will back my brethren.
Let's do it.
against Christian Horner being the best team principal in the
Yes,
paddock. And your
I
time
will.
starts now.
Christian Horner is a specialist in failing upwards. Okay, this guy was not a great racing driver. He's managed to fall upwards into a team. You know, he had a team, and then he got plucked out to go to Red Bull, where they were nothing, and then they luckily went into 4 championship wins with a technology. Well, basically, Adrian Newey saved Christian Horner. Christian Horner is not the person who designed that guy. He's not the person who really did much other than sit on the pit wall and look like, I can't remember his name, but we'll go past that. Anyway, all I'm saying is, after those 4 victories, well done. For 8 years, this guy made it his mission to beat Mercedes, and he couldn't do it. And then he's on Drive to Survive saying, I just like to point out things in a Mercedes car and report them to the FIA just for shits and giggles. That's what his life was. Last season,
1 minute.
he made it his mission to find every microphone he can and just, hello, can I talk to someone? Can I talk to anyone? Please. He is a mouthpiece, and he's not a team leader. He is lucky that his team didn't win the Constructors last year, and they wouldn't have won the Drivers' Championship last year if it wasn't for Massey. So it would have been another year of failure and their best chance to do it. He wishes he was Toto Wolff, who has double the amount of championships that he has. Well, no, nearly double. And for me, I would not say he's the best team principal on the grid. Also, you want to talk about British bias? You've got Sky bias in his home talking to his horses and that. It's disgusting. I don't want to see that. Please.
Jerry Halliwell's husband sucks.
There you go. And also, yeah, and then also she was just like out and about with like the Conservative government at the England game with the women's over there, and that was disappointing.
Tory scum, suck your mum.
Whoa, yes, that.
And time. All right. So, red flags. You will be arguing for this. Your time.
That he's the best team principal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right,
your time starts now.
Have you guys seen a show called Drive to Survive?
Yeah.
Okay, that show falls apart without Christian Horner. Christian Horner is better at narrating and creating and crafting a storyline and speaking to the camera and building drama than Will fucking Buxton. Christian Horner is a genius in creating narratives. And what can we do with the power of a narrative? We can tell stories. We can lead men. We can sway officials to do what we want them to do. It's like a courtroom. Okay? Stories inspire. He told a story. He wove a yarn of Lewis Hamilton committing murder in Silverstone, and it completely eviscerated everything else that Max had been doing that whole season. And you know what? You can't argue with the results. Okay.
1 minute.
He won he helped Max win a championship in a shittier car. That car sucked. You could just, if you don't believe that car sucked, just ask Christian Horner. He told you himself that car was awful.
All you need to do to understand it's you can believe whatever you believe about the man, but then look at the results. They never fuck up the strategy. Toto Wolff, for all that you guys love him, you love him. Maybe Christian looks at him and wants to look like him, sound like him, maybe fuck like him. But at the end of the day, Toto looks at Christian and wishes he could strategize like him, and wishes he could have pit stops like the Red Bull team. And the people that actually work at Red Bull, all for the most part, I think, say that they enjoy their time there. So as much as he might be a piece of shit, and I don't know if I'd like to hang out with him, it seems like the people that work there do, and the results speak for themselves. And yeah, he's the master of all trades.
Time. Okay. Quick stop. Rebuttal.
Yes.
Okay. Your time starts now.
He's a weasel. What are we doing here? He's just weaseling his way into Drive to Survive, weaseling his way into the FIA. I don't know what does a weasel even look like. I've just realised now I don't even know what a weasel looks like, and I'm just going to assume it looks like Christian Horner. I just don't know. Like, he is a master. And look, he's a master of getting himself into places where he shouldn't be. He is probably the guy who could probably sneak. He was probably selling fake IDs to people when he was younger. Like that's the kind of guy he is for me. Thandie, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I'm just gonna say sometimes people look at documents and like, who the hell
Time.
signed for this? You'll always find Christian Horner's signature below.
Yeah.
Time.
There you
Okay, red flags.
go. Mm.
You want to go, Brian?
Yeah, he's a weasel who dominates. You know, I'm not saying he's not a weasel. I mean, the guy, before he got his teeth figured out, full weasel vibes. But even with teeth like that, he bagged a fucking Spice Girl. He has more followers than her on Instagram. I mean, this guy is an inspiring story.
Yes.
I mean, with all of those things in his way, even Total Wolf in his way, Lewis Hamilton in his way, he's still found a way.
The most
bag
mid
Max
guy.
Verstappen too, and bag Max Verstappen because Toto wanted Max Verstappen.
Yes.
But Christian Horner and Red Bull gave him that seat and put him in Formula One before Christian and Mercedes wanted to, and that's why they have Max.
Time.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
Max and Lewis were teammates? That would have been absolutely insane.
The question is, who would be the first driver?
I mean, that
I
would
think
be.
they would
fight
both
to the
be
death.
dead. I think they would both be dead.
Okay. Our next prompt.
Right.
Currently, Oracle Red Bull Racing has 431 points and Ferrari has 334 points. Ferrari can turn it around in the second half of the season and win the constructors title in 2022. Quick stop. Would you like to argue for, in agreement with this statement, or against it?
You guys are thinking about this? This is great.
Can you wait? Say it again. Repeat it again so I can feel the feelings.
She's a method. She's a method.
Currently, Oracle Red Bull Racing has 431 points and Ferrari has 334 points. Ferrari can turn it around in the second half of the season and win the constructors title in 2022. Would you like to argue for, in agreement, or against it?
Yeah, she look into my eyes.
I know you want to say against it, but I feel bad because it's
Same. It just
bad
goes
these
against the
guys.
plan.
You're like, you know what? I'm gonna
Don't feel bad for anybody. Don't feel
Yeah.
bad for
Don't feel
anyone.
bad for us. Don't feel bad for
Okay.
us.
Well,
All right, cool.
Don't feel
Hold on.
bad for them.
I'm gonna argue against it then. That's
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
quick
impossible.
stop. We'll be arguing against
Wait,
it.
what?
And
What? You think they can get back?
oh, I'm sorry. You will be. You said you're arguing.
Against. I know
We're arguing against it. Yeah.
Against, please.
You're
Yeah.
arguing against it. Okay.
Yeah.
And
This
your
is
time-
less chaotic than an actual presidential debate, I think.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And your time starts now.
I've got two words. Mattia Binotto. Okay. I just don't think this guy. I actually think that he just spends time like on the pit wall smoking doobies, basically. I think he's smoking doobies. I think he's like, you know what, yeah, sometimes when you're at work and your boss isn't in, you might just be like, you're kind of working, but you'll have like Netflix on, you're catching up on your latest show, and then you're just like half working, and then you might get a call like from your boss like, oh hi, is everything going well? Like, could you just give me an update on that report? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, it's definitely coming along. I'll get it to you in the next 5 minutes, and then you're rushing to do it. That's him when he realizes that his driver needs to make a pit stop or do a strategy. He's nowhere to be found. He is distracted by something. I don't know what it is. That team are honestly, I think, going to get even worse. I think we think it's like every time
1
we think,
minute.
every time we think it can't get worse for Ferrari, it gets a lot worse. And I just don't know if they have what it takes to turn it around.
I am going to also say that Red Bull Racing has the fastest car on the grid, and they make sure you know it every single week. That car is fucking fast, okay? I'm not too proud to admit it's the fastest car on the grid. And with all the corruption amalgamated with Max's 5% driving skills and his 2.2% freaking sportsmanship, it does make a good recipe for a win. Charles does not have it in him, I'm afraid. Take him out of your top 5 immediately, or that's really embarrassing. And Carlos Sainz at the moment is just trying to prove something. He doesn't know what he's trying to prove. He's lost. So the whole team is kind of lost. You know what I mean? The whole team is suffering from main character syndrome when there's a whole bunch of them, which is chaotic.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay. Red flags. Your time.
When a child
Start
thinks of
now.
a race car, when the child draws a race car, he draws it red. Enzo Ferrari said that. Okay. Ferrari is racing. Did you know they've been in this sport longer than anybody else? And that without Formula One, without Ferrari, there would be no Formula One. How dare you disrespect Ferrari? Okay. How dare you? Michael Schumacher, okay? They have a rich history. Michael Schumacher.
That's right. And listen, they've messed up, but Mattia Binotto has said, and I trust him with my life, that they don't need to make any changes
Yes.
to their strategy. And because they're playing the long game, they know that this is a long season. That's why they got a guy like Carlos Sainz who
1
knows
minute.
how to play the long game. And Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz are going to take this time in this break. They're going to connect. They're all going to get together in Italy somewhere, because everyone that works there, other than their drivers, which are the most talented people there, are all Italian. And they're going to get together and they're going to say, we are going to join the Nazis in World War II. They're gonna win. And their mistakes are done. Their mistakes are over. They're done making mistakes. They've got them all out. They've done like a prayer to the Italian gods. And I think that Red Bull, despite everything I just said a minute ago, is going to fall apart for the second half of the season, and they're going to be there to snatch it up. Also, Mercedes is going to come in, and Red Bull's going to have the floorboard. The floorboard's going to fuck them the second half of the season. Mercedes is going to start beating Red Bull, so Red Bull's going to fall to like 5th and 6th, and Ferrari's going to beat Mercedes, and they're going to be 1 and 2s, and they're going to slowly win.
That's time. Okay.
So hard.
Quick stop
Damn.
rebuttal.
I do not envy you at all. Whew.
Rebuttal. Start.
2 words. Mattia Binotto. Okay. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I think the fact
It's
that
the delusion. It's the delusion for me.
they're with the fairies, bruv. Like
With the fairies.
I don't understand. They're not on this. I don't know. Like the lack of accountability. It reminds me of an ex I had, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't have many fond
Child,
memories of
that
her
ex.
either. They're awful.
You know what
So
I
take accountability, Ferrari, and sort it out. But I don't
Yeah.
think they will.
You
So-
only take
Stop.
accountability if you're wrong.
Oh,
So, excuse me. Is he
Okay,
allowed
I
to
think
talk?
that was over their time. I'm giving 5
I don't think
extra
he's allowed
seconds.
to talk.
I think I'm giving quick stop
You're-
5
you're-
extra
you're a
seconds for that
puppet.
interruption.
You're a puppet.
Quick stop if you want to finish that thought.
The brand does not live to the hype. What we're tasting on the TV is not what we're seeing in real life. Charles
Alright.
Leclerc.
Okay, and with that, red flags rebuttal starting now.
Right, but we need to address the Charles Leclerc slander that was just thrown out here. To get him out of your top 5, he's the greatest driver that's ever existed.
First of all, look at him.
First of all, look at him. When the child draws a racing driver, they draw Charles Leclerc in a red car. Okay, and at the end of the day, this is what will take them to the top. And they're gonna get, you know what? Love Island's over. They're gonna hire Davide, and Davide is going to be on the pit wall. Maybe they can replace Carlos Sainz with a Davide, and Davide and oh my God, what's his name? Charles Leclerc are gonna.
All right, and time. Okay.
Oh, that's so funny.
Our second to last prompt. Daniel Ricciardo should never have left Red Bull. Quick stop. Would you like to argue for, in agreement with this statement, or against it?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I agree.
Okay, you are in for. Arguing for this statement, and your time starts now.
Has anyone noticed recently that there's a trend in F1 where the board, the Illuminati of Formula One, has decided that they will pair any old ass driver with a younger prototype? And so that kind of in their heads makes them work harder so they're not embarrassed by this younger F2 version. The worst thing to ever happen to Daniel is leaving Red Bull because and then he went into that program. They like to call it the old man and little boy program, big brother, little stuff. Do you know what I mean? And so that program exposes everything. It exposes the bozo behavior. It exposes the bare minimum that you've been doing because you were so like bigged up before you were paired with an F2 driver. And it exposes your career. And unfortunately for Daniel Ricciardo, it has not only exposed how lazy he is as a driver, it also exposed how much he does not care about strategy. And for
1 minute
to say he does not really care about the universe or anybody in it apart from himself and the Cowboys in America. Nyasha, do you have anything else to say?
He wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to do a Lewis and go to a constructor and build them up. And then he realized that was he can do it. And if he'd stayed at Red Bull and just taken the shit sandwich, yes, being with Max Verstappen is horrible. But just stay, take the shit sandwich. Are we saying you should? Yes, stay, take the shit sandwich, and then you're going to pick up more race wins, and maybe you'll be in a position to win a championship in 3 years. But he threw that away for what? For some time at Renault, and now he's at McLaren getting absolutely dusted. So
he should have picked lunch at Christian Horner's every Sunday. It's all right.
Just swallow it down. Yes, he's annoying. Yes, you've got to talk to Ginger Spice. Yes, they've got fucking horses. We get it. But
we get it.
We get it, but you should have stayed. Should have
get your roast dinner down, yeah.
And time. All right. Red flags. Daniel Ricciardo should never have left Red Bull. Arguing against. Your time starts now.
I only have one sentence really in my statement. No mistakes, no regrets, only memories. That's Dan Ricciardo said that. And I think that's a really wise thing. He doesn't have regrets. He only has memories. And I think he's made a lot of memories traveling around to the different teams, meeting people, having fun, learning things. And, you know, he learned about winning at Red Bull. You know, he learned what staring death in the face was with Max Verstappen. He learned what that was. He moved on. He beat Ocon. He came in 5th in Renault. He showed the world that he could put a shitbox car and he could drive it to 5th. And now he's learning in McLaren what it's like to fail. These are all valuable things for him to learn.
Yeah, and learning. Listen, Daniel Ricciardo clearly has things in his mind other than racing. He's got a lot on his plate. He's got a TV show that he's going to be executive producing. He's going to be doing a lot of things. So he wanted to learn what it was like to fail. And he wanted to learn that because it made him a fuller human being. But so we don't just say that Daniel Ricciardo is going to fail. You know, this has all been a shitstorm, and he's getting kicked out of his seat in McLaren, but it's looking like he might be going to Alpine. And Alpine used to be Renault, and they did win 2 championships with Fernando Alonso. So I think, and if you look at their car this year, I think they're better than McLaren. So he's going to come back next year, and he's going to be beating McLaren. The prediction is right here. And in 2 years, when they keep that car going with Otmar, who knows what he's doing, they are going to be world championship, and Daniel Ricciardo is going to be a world championship 2-year. Mark my words.
If they don't fire him for the Oscar thing. But anyway.
All right. Time. Okay. Rebuttal.
Yeah, sure. Look, what you're describing sounds like Daniel Ricciardo has gone on like a gap year after school or something. Like this guy is like he's not a kid. He's not gone out in the world to find himself. Maybe he's gone off to Thailand and he's gone to see the monks, or maybe he's gone down to South America to go to Carnival in Rio. Like, no, he's a professional driver who, much like someone who's come out of school, high school, has no maturity to lead on his own. And in Red Bull, he's allowed to be the little brother, Daniel, do that little thing again. And that's what he was going to do.
That's
but
time.
He should have stayed.
That's
Listen,
time. Red flag.
he was
Wait,
facing.
wait. Yes, can you do that again for me?
He was.
I'll allow that interruption.
Oh, so this is counting into my time?
Yes, you've only got 10 seconds left.
Collusion. It's collusion. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. It was brilliant. It was going to win this whole thing. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. He was facing certain oblivion at Red Bull. Max was going to chew him up. He was Christian Horner's son. He loves him more than his kids. He saw the writing on the wall. He was like, I am going to be the fucking redheaded stepchild here. So I could stay here and be the redheaded stepchild, or I could take a gamble and maybe not be the redheaded stepchild. So like he had nothing to lose in his mind. And yes, he ended up becoming the redheaded stepchild at McLaren, but he didn't know that. He went from 100% chance to maybe not being, and he ended up being it anyway. So I think it was the right move. In hindsight, of course it wasn't, but hindsight's 2020.
Time. Okay. Are we ready for our final prompt?
Yes. Can we get 3 minutes each for this?
Yes, we can do 3 minutes.
I think if I know what it is, I think we might want unlimited time.
From twitter.com @yepconsiderably. As I've said many times, put Max and Lewis in equal equipment and Max would eat Hamilton for breakfast. Quick stop. Yes or no?
Could you just
No.
give me their username
Okay.
so I could send them nasty
Okay.
messages, please?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
All right, your time starts. 3 minutes starts now.
First of all, let us correct you. That's Lewis Hamilton to you. Okay. Yeah. Just so we're clear. Max has had everything in this life handed to him. Lewis Hamilton is not. Lewis Hamilton has proven time and time again that he's a better driver than Max every time. I don't need to prove it. The writing's on the pudding. Google his name, bitch. He's right there. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to pass this to our residential Lewis Hamilton stan account to clarify and hand you your pie. Nyasha?
Thanks, Thandie. Great start. I'll finish. Look, honestly, last season showed that towards the end, Lewis got in Max's head. And we saw it with the brake test, we saw it with Brazil. It is ridiculous to think that the way that Lewis Hamilton is even driving now, and he's got 5 podiums in a row driving an awful car. He's got 103 wins, 103 poles as well. Like, this is not some small boy we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's come in, changed the sport, changed what we perceive an F1 driver can be and look like. Max Verstappen is, a good driver. He's a good driver, but he's equal machine.
Not Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis is dusting. I know you guys are big fans of Fernando Alonso. Lewis came in his first season and on. They equal points, but he was higher in the standings due to more wins. And that just shows his level. He's been in equal machinery
Esteban
with
Ocon.
big boy drivers. Max Verstappen's teammates have been Ricciardo, Kvyat, Gasly, Perez, and someone else. Albon, thank you.
Perez.
And he's had the whole team built around him. Lewis had to come through equal machinery battles with Nico Rosberg and came out 2-1.
1 minute.
Lewis has had to come through McLaren in an absolute shit box, and carry that team. And
Equal machinery is one thing, but it takes fucking guts. It takes a sincere dog in you. And unfortunately, Max Verstappen lacks that dog because we hear him screaming every single time. Lewis does not complain, either on or off the track. There's a certain thing that you need in you that...
You'll get your turn.
So, and look, if Max Verstappen does have the dog in him, it's like a chihuahua. It's like a chihuahua that doesn't stop fucking your ankle.
It's an annoying
like get the fuck off my ankle, bro. Come get your dog. So that's the dog in Verstappen. In no way in equal machinery. It doesn't happen.
No way.
It doesn't happen. You'll have to go watch What If on Marvel, and they'd have to create a script where Max Verstappen beats Lewis in equal machinery for that to be reality.
Watch this.
Yes.
Watch this.
And that's it. That's what I've got to say.
Time.
Ooh.
Red flags. Your time starts now.
Brian, you want to go or should I?
You start. You start.
You say Lewis got in Max's head. Max got on Lewis's head. Max is a fucking killer. How could you tell me that he doesn't have a fucking dog in him? The disrespect. That guy is let me through or I'm putting you in the wall. Lewis in the beginning of last season, Lewis was getting out of his way. Lewis was like totally pussified in the beginning of that season, and Max drove Lewis to murder in Silverstone. He finally had enough. Lewis snapped, and you have the audacity to tell me that Lewis doesn't complain. All Lewis does is complain. Bono, my tires are gone. They're gone, Bono. I can't drive in this thing. This year, his car is undrivable, man. It's undrivable. While George Russell is fucking putting it on pole, give me a fucking break. Give me a goddamn break. Lewis doesn't complain. Now you're just lying. Lewis is this great guy. Let me tell you something. And Max is this asshole. Everyone's saying Max is an asshole. Max loves cats. Lewis, I love dogs. The bulldogs, that's dog abuse. Okay, you shouldn't breed those dogs. And then he's freezing this dog's sperm to breed it later. She's perpetuating dog those things can't breathe. Those dogs can't breathe. Sorry.
Max. Yeah, if he's listen, these guys are small anyway. Okay, no one's really a bulldog. No one's really a Rottweiler.
Don't bring up bulldogs. They can't breathe.
That's what they can't breathe.
We need to get them out of the culture.
1 minute.
That's right.
Your state, the British bulldog. That dog can't breathe. The dog that represents your fucking country. It's horrible. Sorry.
Listen, they're both phenoms. They start from, but listen, Lewis this year, all you got to look at is his relationship with George Russell. They're on equal footing this year. George Russell's had his number for the first half of the season, and now they're getting to the point where they're at the same point. But you know that Lewis is in George Russell's head. George Russell looks at Lewis and he sees a halo around the top of his head. He doesn't want to put him into the wall. And so George Russell's driving nice and is on the same plane as Lewis. And you think that George Russell's better than Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen would have George Russell's lunch. He would bully him. He would take his lunch money.
Jesus.
That's time. That's time. Okay. Quick stop. 45-second rebuttal starts now.
7 world championships, 103 wins, 103 poles. Okay, look, I don't know what else you want me to say. Honestly, Max Verstappen would love to be. This thing, Max Verstappen, like you're right, he is a bully. And you know what? Because bullies bully people because they're jealous, because they're insecure, because they want things. He looks at Lewis at fashion events like, oh, I don't want to go to a fashion event. I don't care about fashion events. You would love it. You would love to be front row in Paris next to Zendaya. You'd love to be in that Valentino pink. Don't fucking
Max
lie
doesn't
to me,
even
Max.
look nice in pink. Let's be very honest.
No,
Max
Max just goes to his wall. Yeah.
Time.
It'd be horrible. It would be horrible.
And to conclude the whole point, in equal machinery, one's a racist and one is not.
Oh God.
All right, red flags. Your rebuttal starts now.
I don't know what to say to that. I'll take this time to say that I would love to see Max in that pink Valentino ad, and that would be an iconic thing to see him in.
I also bet my life that Max doesn't know who Zendaya is.
Yeah, Max's focus is on the track. Here's what I'll say. If Lewis does all this and is this great while having a million different hobbies, can you imagine if Lewis didn't even have those hobbies? He'd have 300 wins. He would have never lost a race.
Also, this is such a British thing. You guys rest on your laurels. Look at what we did in the past. Look how great we used to be. Okay. What's Lewis doing now? He's struggling against his teammate.
Red, that's for filth.
And that brings us to the end of our first ever red flags debate. I'm not going to decide the winner of this debate. That's going to be up to you, the listeners. Follow us on Twitter at the Red Flags F1, and we'll post a poll where you can vote for who you think won this debate, the red flags or quick stop. Matt, Brian, back to you.
Wow, it was so.
What I will say to you is that we put you guys in positions that I would not have wanted to be in myself. But so I hope the people consider that because
we were in Lewis, Brazil territory. We were.
Yeah. Like,
remember when Lewis won? He won that race, and then they were like, "You're 20 points back, 20 positions back," and then he was like, 25.
Yeah. Let's be very clear. So no, thanks for that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was so fun. But we wanted to. It was this ep was just going to be this debate, but we need to talk about silly season. We need to talk about these last couple of weeks. So thank
God we cut it off because I would have had a stroke. If I had to defend Esteban, if you had made me defend Mick Schumacher next or something, I would have just died. Or Lance Stroll.
No, I did have a pay driver's prompt.
Oh God.
Next time.
What are y'all's? This has been an insane few days. I mean, what are y'all's impressions of what's going on? What's your takes? Who do you think's going to be taking this Alpine seat? What do you think is about to happen?
Okay.
The debate's over. The debate's over. Oh
yes. Oh my God!
I've
traumatized.
We're just talking now.
I've fully traumatized them. I'm sorry.
Look, it's mental, isn't it? In terms of the Alpine seat, I think the obvious one is Ricciardo, but the way he left Renault wasn't great. He left before the start of the 21 season. 20 season, sorry. They'd committed a lot of resources to him and they'd put a lot of faith in him. And then at the first opportunity, he kind of said, well, I'm out of it. And I think that would be a difficult thing to repair. And obviously his wage demands as well. So I actually think that it won't be Ricciardo. Who it will be, I don't know, but I think there's one more twist in this silly season, and I think Ricciardo may end up somewhere else, possibly Williams, who knows? But essentially, apparently McLaren are not going to announce Piastri until they've found somewhere for Daniel to go, or it's clear that Daniel can't go anywhere. So I don't think we'll know for a while, to be honest.
Right. They want to make sure that Daniel is safely housed before they kick him out. They want to make sure that sorry, go ahead.
I think Daniel knows something that we don't know, and that's why he's regarded so much, because I'm going to be outright and say it. I don't think Daniel even deserves a seat in Formula One after the year that he's had. I'm not going to lie to you. So it is them doing him a favor wherever they land him. I don't know if they're going to do this pairing where they kind of put him with a younger driver who's he's supposed to mentor.
What did you call that in the debate? the father son.
What do I call it? The
Father,
father, the
grandpa,
brother.
son pairing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Big
like,
brother, little
I'm
brother.
already programmed to being like, how do I take what she says and throw it into the ground?
Like,
Wait a
what have
minute,
I
I'm
done?
like, all right, I can just
No,
agree
we
with her
we
if I
fully
want.
agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know, like after that season, if we are being completely critical, which I think Formula One lacks critics on it. I think it lacks an actual criticism aspect to it, a proper review aspect, because everyone's just being bought. But if we look at it critically, Daniel Ricciardo does not deserve a seat in Formula One after the last season he had. That is the bottom truth. And so that's my opinion. However, I'm happy that McLaren have found a home for young Oscar. I think he might just do well in it. I've heard he's good at what he does. And that's my opinion.
It'll be interesting to see
yeah.
with if it's Oscar and Lando. That will be a really
Yeah.
telling thing,
Yeah.
like
Mhm,
because Oscar's
mhm.
like apparently like that guy. I mean, he's
Yeah.
like that. He's like the
Yeah,
highest touted
exactly.
person since like George and I mean,
Yeah,
And
since
he
Lando.
must really rate himself if he's like, I want to go to McLaren. And
He also came in hot. I mean, like I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't fuck around. I mean,
Yeah, that tweet was
Mhm.
honestly.
Wow.
I wish I could find a way of making that day into some kind of drug and just sniffing
Oh,
it
it
every
felt
day.
so good.
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
Mhm.
Like every 2 hours, something new was happening, and then that Oscar tweet landed, and you're just like, what? Holy
and he's never even driven. And the other crazy thing about this Daniel Ricciardo thing is if Alpine have fucked up so badly that they might have to take back Daniel Ricciardo, which is crazy because it's like if your girlfriend leaves you for another
Yeah.
guy and then that guy dumps her
yeah.
and then she comes crawling back
Yeah.
and you gotta
And then how do you kind of explain it to the group chat? Like, oh, guys, I'm taking her back.
yeah but it's like she's only with you because that better
Right.
looking guy
Mhm.
dumped her and she's
Mhm.
coming crawling back. It's just
I
the
mean,
amount
Wait a minute. If this were the group chat, who would the other teams be? Like what kind of personas in that group chat?
So in that group chat, you won't find the big three: Ferrari, McLaren. Do you know what I mean? You won't find the big three in there because they're too cool. They're not part of that group chat. I've always said that group chat. I'll tell you who's always sending in memes, and everyone's this guy at like 3 a.m. Lance Stroll. He's sending in memes, and that he's definitely in that group chat. I'm not saying it's the group chat that you want to be in. I'm just
Right.
saying
Yeah.
it's
It's a group chat. You
Do
know
you
when you go
mean?
on like
It's
a
so-
stag do and you get put in the group chat with the stag do and there's loads of people.
Mhm.
Oh
Loads
yeah.
of people you don't really know or talk to, and then there's always like
Oh, yeah.
really one over keen person who's always posting in there like
Mhm.
nothing to do with the stag do. That's Lance Stroll because he's not concentrating on his job. He's just
There
just
was a
sending-
dinner once that we saw, Esteban Ocon's dinner, that told me everything I needed to know about it. The drivers at his dinner were Mick Schumacher and Lance
Stroll.
Stroll. Those were the two
wow.
drivers that he had at his dinner, and I was like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
tough.
interesting. It's interesting with the potential because it seems like it's like what's going to happen with Gasly. It seems like Renault would be, or Alpine would be such a perfect fit for him. It's a fucking French company. But then, given what you were saying about Gasly and Ocon, maybe
Mhm.
that's something that's standing in the way. If those two hate each other, then maybe
Oh
they're
yeah,
like,
we
don't
got to
even
get
want
back to
Gasly.
that.
So yeah, I actually only just heard about that today. Nyasha can.
What was
The
that? Sorry?
Gasly Ocon. Because I was saying that like Gasly going to Renault would feel like it would fit, and
It
I
fit,
think
right? Yeah.
Gasly has in his contract
And he
that
has
he can
an
only go
outlaw.
to a
He has
place.
a-
He's
yeah.
an out. He has an out where he can only go to a team if they're better. Like he can only go to a better team that's better, and that's Alpine. And so it's a French driver. It's a French company. Two French drivers. They're both young. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. But if they hate each other, then
If he could go there and they could sort it out, I think that's a great driver
Mhm.
pairing.
It seems
I
like
think
it's like if,
Yeah.
we were just saying Jenny read an article that like, they haven't fucked with each other since like 2009 in karting. So it's like
Yeah.
if it's that long, it's like it's not recent beef. It's like get over it.
Yeah. Mm,
You can-
yeah.
Brian and
drive
I
there.
didn't fuck with each other.
Yeah, Matt and I
12
hated each
years ago.
other in all through
Really?
middle
So-
school. Yeah,
Yes.
we were forced to be friends because he was friends with my friends. They went to Hebrew school together, and then they like brought in this new guy Matt. And I was
I went to
like,
Hebrew school. Oh my god, I've never met another person who went to Hebrew school. Sorry.
Wait,
He's
we're gonna have
dead,
to spend
like-
a second on this, Thandie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
wait,
you
hold on.
Jewish?
Yeah, we will.
I'm not Jewish. However, I did go to Hebrew school. So I went to
Why?
Hebrew school.
For
Yeah.
how long?
Because for some reason there was a Hebrew school because I grew up in Zimbabwe, and there was a Hebrew school in Zimbabwe, and I think they needed to let a certain amount of black people in. I was that certain percentage. And I'm always telling
Wow.
Nyasha as
That
well.
has so many layers.
This
So
is
I'm
why
always
there. This
telling
is
Nyasha,
why
like,
there's
I went to
something
Hebrew
cosmic
school.
here. There's something beautiful here.
Like this uncut gems, like when Kevin Garnett
Yeah,
sees The Rock, and it's like this African connection with Jews.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Why would you show me this if I can't have it?
Yeah. So I went to Hebrew school.
So do you know, like, can you read Hebrew?
So I used to be able to, like, I used to fully get everything. Now I don't have a clue. I hardly know what I'm eating at lunch most days.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's my fun fact. That's my dinner party fun fact.
That's a great fun fact.
That's a fun
Thanks.
fact.
What was your Hebrew
Yeah.
name, Thandie?
Yeah, did they give you one?
I don't know if I got one. I'll check because I have loads of like childhood pictures, and all my nursery pictures as well. I've got like a full on video of us dancing around the Star of David as little kids. I do just fully
Hell
have
yeah.
that video.
Did you
footage.
celebrate all the
Yeah.
holidays too?
Yeah.
She's
How-
literally,
how-
you're literally. I didn't go to Hebrew school. You're literally more Jewish
you're
than me.
more Jewish than me.
Thandie, how deep did you? Thandie, how deep did you go? Were you? Did you go to a lot of bar mitzvahs?
Oh my gosh.
Not that deep, no, because we weren't of age. Like I stopped going after I turned 7.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but we used to sing this nursery rhyme like, we eat halal, we eat halal. It was so good. No, I promise you, one day I will get my photos out and my video footage from home. I promise it's the best.
Please tweet us. Please DM it. Send it.
Amazing.
Slide it.
All right.
with
Well,
that.
is there anything else? Any
I
other?
just want to say
Yeah.
that Fernando Alonso is a king.
Yeah.
We have
Okay,
to. We
let's
have
have-
to.
let's
Well,
have-
I don't
let's
know
have-
why
let's-
we're
have
skipping.
a
We're skipping the
discussion.
beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're skipping the beginning. We're pulp.
Fernando,
fictioning this.
okay. Fernando Alonso is a king. Like Castro was once a king.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
That's really good.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, he is a king, and this is a fucking left-leaning pod that really
Jimmy.
fits with Cuba.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So Fernando Alonso's
we're
a
leftist pod.
socialist.
Yeah.
Castro was once good in other people's eyes. Robert Mugabe was once a king in other people's eyes.
Yo, look, let me tell you that Zimbabwe. My parents loved Bob Mugabe.
Do you know what I mean?
Like it's crazy.
People
all
in
thought he
Africa,
was a
people in
legend at
Africa
one
love
point.
Gaddafi, right?
Yeah, like it's layered, right? It's a layered thing.
Do you know what I like to say on the podcast? I always like to say, know your oppressor. Those people knew who their oppressor is and they chose the latter. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what you guys are choosing with Alonso, essentially.
For Alonso, yeah.
He is a
Do
villain.
you know what I mean?
He is. Wait, that picture of him with the thumbs up, like when everything was going to shit, and then Otmar was like, "Oh," and he saw the location because Otmar was like, "Oh, he's on a Greek island somewhere. I can't get hold of him." Here he is uploading something on his phone in Spain. This guy doesn't care. Honestly, Alonso, for all of his, there's things I don't like about Alonso, all of his faults, but you can't deny that he is a good driver, and that he knows who he is, and he's fully aware. He's fully aware of the person he is, and for him to just set that whole grenade off with the
He
Aston
waited. He
announcement.
told Alpine that he wasn't signing anywhere else, that he was going to resign with them. Totally don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He waited till Oscar's contract was up, and people think that he knew about Oscar setup. So people think he actually intentionally waited, obfuscated the truth from Alpine, and then re-signed with Aston Martin on August 1st to purposefully fuck Alpine because they disrespected him. And a lot of people draw strength from different places. I think Lewis Hamilton maybe draws it from a more positive place.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton is the Lord of Light.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you have the Prince of fucking Darkness, and I think this is something that Michael Jordan did, right? Is you have to make up slights, and everybody's disrespecting you, and that the whole world's against you, and I'm not saying it's good it makes you a good person or good for your overall mental health, but Alpine disrespected him. They would not give him a multi-year deal, so so like Michael Jordan, he took that personally.
Yeah.
And what I love about Alonso is that he's such a great man, but he's so big, but he's also so small and petty. And that that dichotomy is just such a beautiful thing, that you could achieve such great heights and just have such a fucking Larry David attitude about things. Is amazing.
He is Larry David.
He's amazing.
Well, that's what makes it. I
definitely think in the Illuminati Formula One meetings, I feel like Alonso definitely talks over Christian Horner 100%. 100%. He's definitely dominating the meetings. That's all.
Well, that's why Vettel walked out of that meeting. We said this on another different pod we were guesting on. Did you know why he walked out? Do you know why Vettel left that meeting?
Why?
Because Fernando Alonso, so they were talking about the weaving on the straight, and basically Fernando was so insistent that he had been slighted and he had been wronged, and they showed him multiple camera angles of it to the point where people were laughing at him like, "Bruv, what are you doing?" But he wouldn't drop it, and Vettel in him was like, "We're going round in circles. I'm out of here."
And it was like, and they have the driver meeting once a week or something, and he'd brought the same incident, but it was in Canada, and he brought it up like 4 weeks in a row. He wanted to litigate this thing. And so it wasn't even like they were going around in circles one time. It was like he's like, he's bringing up this weaving on the straight again, and Vettel left. So
can you imagine if what happened to Lewis in Abu Dhabi had happened to Alonso? I mean, Lewis in Abu Dhabi, like on the podium, congratulating Max, and really not bringing it up that much, like this, the strength of character that
Alonso would have set the entire joint on fire. That day, following news would have been Abu Dhabi alight. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and then followed by that would be just nothingness, because he will have sucked us into a black hole.
That's right. Yeah.
There would be no F1.
Yeah.
They say there's no F1 without Ferrari. There's no F1 if you if you push Alonso to the breaking point.
Oh, he'll bring everything down with him.
He brought McLaren down.
He's like the guy in Squid Game, or the woman in Squid Game that's like, I'm so spited, I'm taking you down with me.
When she grabs him and says that he has a tiny dick and then kills him. That is such an Alonso move.
That's Alonso, and the guy is F1.
No, Alonso is that guy and that girl.
Oh,
right. I think that's what makes it's like, the Lewis Alonso, and the Lords of the Light, and then the Princes of Darkness. And Max is a Prince of Darkness, and so is Alonso, and then like Lewis is a Lord of Light, and so is I guess Russell, but like we think that Russell's secretly Slytherin.
I think Russell's immortal, but they prefer him on Earth.
He's a closet Death Eater.
You know what? I'm not gonna have this, George. I'm not gonna have this, George.
Oh my God! If he's got a British accent,
Russell,
no. Kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Russell is not a Death Eater. How is George Russell a Death Eater when he's Sirius Black? He's gonna appear to you in the fire, and he's gonna protect you. He's here to protect. Guys,
he's
not
British.
What he's just done.
This is British bias. Your red button If you're a Sky Sports fucking customer, this is bullshit.
Oh my god, George Russell is just a polite English fellow. George Russell will take you on a picnic with a nice hamper and some cheese and cold ham. Okay, like that's George. George is not. I think there's an impression that George is like sneaky, and he loves Lewis. He's got so much admiration for him. Like, say, he looks at him and he just like he probably doesn't even hear him speak. He just hears like, oh. So I refuse to believe.
like-
He's Max Verstappen on the track.
On the track, yeah. To be fair,
and then he's super polite in person. Like, he's so well PR trained. I just feel like with Americans, you aren't used to politeness. Manners.
Oh,
So this is like a new notion for you guys. You guys are like, what is? He said thank you. He said excuse me.
Excuse me.
And that is why you guys are insulted.
Excuse me. I have a
Yes,
girlfriend. My girlfriend is from my imaginary girlfriend that I met at camp. No, she's from Fry and Barnet. Okay, she lives in London.
Yeah.
She's from London. So I've been to. Okay.
Oh God, the epitome of friendliness. My goodness, please keep talking.
oh, I'm from North London. What are you talking about? Whoa! You want to beef right now? Like,
She's from Fry and Barnet, and I've been to England a couple times, and I understand British politeness. Behind British politeness is first of all repressed feelings, not dealing with your emotions, and just passive aggressive cuntiness. Okay. Americans, we just come out and say it. George Russell is biting his tongue. He's biding his time.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely love that.
Did you see the TikTok that they tried to do a TikTok? Did you see him doing the TikTok of like late night where he's like walking, where he's doing the thing?
Yeah.
He looks
It's
like I'm like, dude, he's like one of those bad extras who doesn't know how to walk all of a sudden. I'm like,
So
dude,
wait,
just walk.
so
You're
I
a
have a
fucking
theory.
cyborg. He's
No,
so
I have a theory
stiff.
on Twitter. Yeah, I have a theory on Twitter that how have we not explored the theory that George is a Cylon and he's ready to
like
go
he's
off
like the
at any
first
point.
of the AI robots to assimilate himself into the look, that could, if anything, that could be very true. I always said that he walks like Woody from Toy Story when he's kind of walking around but he's I love the kid, but he is like just
If Lance Stroll was
yeah.
British, would you like him too? I'm gonna play a game with you. I'm gonna play a game with you guys. Ready? I'm sorry to interrupt, but if Lance Stroll was British, would you like him?
Lance Stroll is British.
Is
Are
he?
you okay?
No, he's
No,
Canadian.
he's Canadian.
Is he?
Thandie.
That's British. Sure.
Yes. Absolutely.
That
Wait,
makes
I think we
so
got-
much sense.
Jewish.
We could talk for hours on end, and hopefully this is the first of many collabs that we do. So we'll be able to get into all of this later. So where can the people find you guys?
Find us at Quickstop F1 on Insta, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all of them things there. Come and find us, say hello. And the podcast is available on all good podcast formats and YouTube as well. So yeah, check us out.
Hell yeah, and especially, I mean, you guys are already huge on Twitter, but you guys have started your TikTok page. So let's get our TikTok. Go
Yes.
follow them on TikTok. Let's get that TikTok popping.
The numbers, I was like, let me go check out Red Flag. Like, hang about. These numbers are incredible. I was like, you guys, your TikTok is so good.
Yeah, so go follow them on TikTok. They do. I mean, if there's a companion pod out there that actually isn't afraid to fucking say stuff with their chest, it's fucking Quick Stop. So rising tide rises all boats. We'll both be fucking absolute titans of industry in a couple of years, and we'll be running things. So yeah, thank you
I just
so
want
much.
to do a quick thing. Kid named Victor. We usually shout out people who pay us, but this kid, he sent me a message saying, you guys are the best. I am 14, so I can't donate. But can I get a shout out? Can I get a shout out for being a lifetime Ferrari fan? So for 14 years of depression.
Yeah.
So for our 14-year-old guy, Victor, who's known nothing but misery, shout out to you.
Yeah. So we end the show as y'all know with a goodbye, Vankers. So if you want to, yeah.
Goodbye, Vankers. I've always wanted to do that. Sick.
Thandie.
Oh, I'm gonna do it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye, Vankers.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Very
those are some of the best
good.
I've ever heard.
Auf
See you later,
Wiedersehen.
Vankers.
Auf
Bye,
Wiedersehen, Vankers.
Vankers.
Bye.